just keep a positive mindset, figure you out and blame everything on you. And even if it's not your fault, and then from there, everything gets better. I promise. It really does. It may still be a struggle every day, but stay strong and keep a positive mindset. And you'll be all right for sure.
And like you said, extreme accountability. If somebody's making mistakes consistently, there's a good chance it's your fault as the owner. There's really freedom in accountability because honestly, if it's not your fault, then can you even fix it?
Yeah, exactly.
So Trevor Steele, Through the Noise podcast, Business, Life, and Lies. That name has been drawing some questions lately, but that's okay. One day, maybe we'll go over it in detail. We have a guest today that I'm super excited about. We've been trying to connect for, I don't know, maybe over a year. Dan is one of the co-founders of the Garage Floor Company. I'm not going to do much introduction. I'm going to let him do that, but he's recently moved into franchising, and I'm super excited to hear his story and kind of how he pulled this off and the struggle and the fight to get to where he is today. So I'm going to let Dan in real quick. And how's it going, Dan?
Good. How are you?
Good, brother.
Good.
Awesome. Right?
Yeah. I guess my check finally made it to you so I could get on this podcast.
Yeah. Everybody else that's been on the podcast, I'm still waiting for your checks. So go ahead.
All you got to do is send in a check, man. And he's like, hey, you want to be on a podcast?
That's funny.
Yeah.
So we met through Leslie, who works with Josh Latimer at Warplan. So Leslie, if you're jumping in here, what up? Appreciate the introduction.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Dan. Start from the beginning. What you got?
Yep. Yeah. So it was a dreary day back in 1984 when I was born. So no, I'm just kidding. So I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, originally. Grew up big Catholic family. Went to Indiana State for college. Got a business degree. Didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. So my dad one day said, hey, why don't you try out to be a state trooper? First try I got on, became a state trooper. Did that for a while, about 13 years. Most of my tenure, I actually guarded 3 of the different governors through Indiana on the protection detail. While I was there, I knew I really was meant for more and really wanted to dive into being an entrepreneur. Didn't know what the heck that even meant or what it even entailed, but I knew I wanted to own my own business. So I had done a few other things, but wound up eventually linking up with my the other co-founder and my business partner, Jeff Gannon, who at that time, the Garage Floor Company. And he and I kind of hit it off, and he trained me and I worked with him for a while, and we built something up in Indiana so well that when I was running it basically part-time, kind of just decided, hey, this is something really neat that we got going on here. Why don't we share this wealth with other people? And so he and I decided, why don't we start franchising our operation? So that's when we got the idea, the grand operation of, hey, let's franchise and start getting into that world, which we had no clue what it even entailed, what to do. If there was a mistake to be made, I'm pretty sure we made it and then some. So we've done it all, and so that's kind of where we ended up lining up and landed from today.
Man, yeah, I can imagine what it's like. So that's something I've always entertained with clean image pressure washing, was to eventually get to the point where we're so automated and so systemized and scalable that we move into the franchise model. But the more people like you that I interview, the more the more I move away from being in your shoes. Like the guys that buy into the franchise, they seem to find success much quicker than if they did it on their own. I will say that. But the guy that was in the trenches building the franchise, tough stuff, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can build a business, but franchising is a whole different world. And if you ask me, even before when I first started out, like, what is franchising? I couldn't have told you. I had no clue. And the first thing, what most people think is, like, when you ask them that question, they think, well, is it McDonald's a franchise? So they go right to that. They don't have a clue what franchising even is. And to this day, like, we're still learning. Mm-hmm. I don't know everything. Like, I'm still going to camps. I'm still going to all these other things. I'm still getting coaches. Unreal. whole nother ball game. It's not business. It's totally different. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love it. I mean, that's where I love to be at. But yeah, it's a neat adventure, but it's hard.
Yeah, as business owners, we have to, specifically publicly, right, or in front of our staff, you have to be careful not to unveil the curtain too much about how difficult it really is, because you don't want to
Yeah.
discourage anybody. But like today has been one of those days for me. It just has. And the guys come in the shop, and I'm like, "Oh, what's up, guys? How's it going?" Like dapping it up, trying to stay positive, but in reality, I'm like, I hate this. But I guess it's the same way, even more so in a franchise. Now they're all looking to you for the American dream. I mean, it's a lot you got to carry on your shoulders.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a different ball game, but it's a little bit different scale. But like you said, you just still got to be positive and got to keep that positive mindset and things like that, so other people don't, get discouraged. Because I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are there to help you to grow and stuff like that in the franchising world. And until we found that help, we failed miserably. We started franchising legally in 2020. We didn't get our first franchisee until 2023.
Wow.
So, I mean, if you think about it, if
That's
you're in
tough.
business for 3 years, you're not making any money, but you're spending it all, like there's something wrong. That's why I said we made every mistake and then some. So, I know what not to make. And that's what I'm trying to help people out. Like, go down this road. Don't go down that other road. So much easier this way.
So I know there's, every industry is different, specifically when it comes to franchising. The cost and the business model and the FDD and everything is either, more simplified or super complicated. How was that for the garage floor industry? Was that tough?
So that's where the mistakes started. Literally, the first FDD is where the mistakes started. Where we ended up linking up with was a lawyer that didn't produce. Partially our fault. We didn't stay on it, but it went 6 months, 8 months, and a lawyer was supposed to draft up the FDD. We thought he was doing it. We thought it took that long. We had no clue. And by the time we reached out to him, he had taken all of our money and we got nothing. So
Wow.
it was a bad situation. Once we figured out what to do, we're like, hey, let's go hire a lawyer. So we hired another lawyer to get that FDD written. We wrote it. Fast forward a couple more years, we ended up linking up with somebody else who's another lawyer. They read our FDD and said, hey, do you know that you have the wrong FDD? And we're like, we have an FDD. Like, isn't that all the same? And he's like, no, you're operating underneath a restaurant FDD. I'm like, all this time and money we spent, and we had the wrong FDD all along. So finally, once we got the correct lawyer, which I'm going to give a huge shout out to Charles Internicola with Internicola Office. Like, dude's amazing, super smart. It's just, he finally, once we got with him, everything changed and it started moving the right direction. But that was the biggest downfall, is getting that FDD figured out. And you just got to find the right people. Unfortunately, no one's out there to tell you. I mean, I'll tell you, go to with an Internicola law firm. I mean, that's where you go. But yeah, it was.
So what are we talking about as far as cost? Can you say that number?
So the first
or is it
one
too high that you don't want to vomit?
The first one that we lost was around 60,000. Yeah. And it was gone. And then the second one that we spent, I think it was like 15,000. And I can't remember where we landed with Charles to write us a new one, but that's kind of like a different program. So we're underneath the program with him. So there's kind of a lot of things built into it with his package that we ended up doing. I don't remember what we spent, but I would have spent twice as much to go with him first. Yeah.
Don't say that out loud.
Right.
They might be listening.
Yeah. Charles, turn it off. I'm sure he's listening right now, or else he'll hear it.
So if you had to give us a bullet point of kind of start here, then go here, then do this, what does it take, and how long could that process be if you did it again right now, if you started from the beginning?
Yeah. So where you need to start in a franchise is figuring out, first off, you got to have good unit economics. And by unit economics, you got to really have good numbers, is really what it comes down to. You got to have a proven business that has strong numbers. From there, you can start building on, is this even feasible to be a franchise? Getting into mastermind groups is a really good place to start. It's called Fran Camp. Nick Powell started it. To this day, I've been to every single one. Been to the first one, and I'm getting ready to go here in 2 weeks to another one. It's a big group of like-minded people that actually sit down with you and really go through everything about whether you're a startup or whether you got 100 and some units. It's a collaboration of all these different people in this room that listen to you. So like when we went, we're like, hey, hey, we only have one franchisee, but we had people that didn't have any. And they're like, hey, should I even franchise? And you kind of find out through the process of talking with other people, is your business even feasible to get to that point to franchise? Most businesses are. I'm not going to say they're not, but you still want to have that support and stuff like that to really find out, is this going to even be feasible to really make you stand out? I think that's like the biggest thing, is what differentiates you in your spot. Because we all kind of do the same thing at the end of the day. Like if you clean houses or, power washing, I do garage floors. We all kind of do the same exact thing, but it's how we do it that makes everything different. And then the differentiators within there, that's kind of where you need to start. See, really is get your unit economics lined up, get everything laid out, and then go through the FDD process to get something written up.
So that's pretty much it. You just need an FDD. How many D's do you need? You need FDD, and then you hit the ground running. I mean, how do you go to trade shows and try and do sales, or do you hire a marketing firm? I mean, there's a lot of ways to do this, and one is very, very expensive.
And we've done them all. Every single one that you've mentioned, we've done them all. Obviously, that's not my recommendation to do that. But yeah, I mean, legally to be a franchise, all you have to have is an FDD. There are so many franchises in this world that we don't even know about. I think Charles said like over 2,000 franchises out there. Like it's an astronomical amount of franchises, but most of them fail just because they just don't know. But yeah, I mean, to get sales, we've done portals, we've done FSOs, franchise sales organizations, we've done all the different types, and we've done Facebook ads, you name it, we've done it. The best thing that we found now is going into the broker network. It's very expensive, but the best thing about being in a broker network is you get those relationships with certain people that have basically an inventory of all these other people wanting to buy a franchise. So you're not really wasting money out front. It's just on the back end. So it's a lot of stuff on the back end. So you pay a hefty fine to these brokers or consultants, as some of them like to be called, but it's well worth it because they're qualified. They're bringing you qualified candidates. They're legit people. They do their work. And that's kind of how we found our bread and butter lately, is dealing with those brokers or consultants.
So let's go further back. Let's go back to Garage Floor Company was just let's call it a one-man show, because I'm sure at one point it was that. So how do you get, and maybe this was kind of not your expertise, I don't know, you have a business partner, but how do you get from that to having a scalable, systemized company that you feel confident enough to take to market?
So a lot of that comes from him. So Jeff's been around the industry for over 20 years. He's really dove deep. He owned another franchise doing the similar stuff that we do. So he had been in that model. So he understands the entire thing. When he went on his own, he had worked for other guys. So he had trained. So he knew all the processes and systems in place. He knew the franchise side as well because he was a franchisee. So he understood everything about it. So when we came together, he knew what he was looking for and he knew what was feasible, because he kind of gauged it from his experience, which was a bad experience with that other franchise. And, he kind of gauged it and said, okay, this is going to be the right model to grow, but we have to get the unit economics numbers up. And so Indianapolis was kind of like the test market for that. That was his test. He's like, if Dan can do it in Indy, anyone else can do it. And he's just kind of doing it part-time. So that was his biggest thing, is he pushed that, to test everything out. So basically I was a test model. And once he saw that, yes, this is a feasible thing, he's like, let's rock and roll. We know what we can do. And then we got the ball rolling from there.
Yeah. So what is your role in the company today?
So I still own and operate the local here in Indy, Garage Floor Company, Indy. So we still do that. I'm very involved. I have a team that does a lot of the stuff. So they give me more opportunity to build on the company, to grow it. As far as the franchise side, I'm the VP and director of franchise development. What that really means, such a long title. They always say, if you have a really long title, you're not important. I'm not important. I talk to people and see if they're right fit, basically, to grow into it. I do a lot of outreach to brokers, podcasts, and things like that. So really just kind of staying top of mind for people. And then when candidates come in, I just talk to them and we go through the entire life cycle. So I'm really not that important, but I have a lot of fun meeting new people.
Yeah, for sure. So you kind of of date them for a while and nurture them, and hopefully they turn into a franchisee, or hope maybe it doesn't always work out on your end. You might think this isn't going to be a good fit. How do you handle that? How do you handle that when they're all in and you know in your gut this is not going to be a good fit?
It's not easy because we literally just had one. We've had a couple, and from the very beginning, you know whether you want, because this is like a 10-year relationship that you're really getting. And Jeff and I always say we don't sell franchises, we don't award. We hate that award for franchising, because everybody's like, I'm awarding a territory. And it's like, no, you're really partnering up. Like, this is your partner in this business. Like, you're going to be with them for the next 10 years. You better like them. You better be able to get along with them. So once they get on that phone call with me, I can really tell on that, pretty much that first one, whether they're going to be a good fit or not. We still take them through the entire process as far as they make it. In the very beginning, you can pretty much tell if they're going to be a good fit for you or not. Like, it's somebody you want to hang out with, and it's like, hey, can I really do business with this guy? Like, do I really want to call him on a bad day and talk to him? Like, when he's chewing my ass out, like you just, there's a lot into it. So, you know, that's kind of how we gauge it for those different things, is, are they a good fit for us, and are we a good fit for them?
How long does that process usually take to play out?
It varies. It really depends on them. We can move you as fast or as slow as you want, and then we'll kind of gauge it from there. But there's a 7-step process that we go through our system. So we're with Franchise Fastlane, which is with the Carpool section. Franchise Fastlane is one of the largest FSOs in the organization, and then Carpool is part of their organization. The only difference is we actually sell. They don't have their people selling for our company. So like, I'm doing the sales, versus if you're on Fastlane's side, they do all the sales and they do everything.
That's a brokerage fee.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's a fee, and we're still paying the fee to be part of Carpool, but it comes with a lot of advantages. So we're actually learning, training. Joe's one of our coaches. Jesse's another coach that we've had. They're really good people that train you to be a good franchisor, to teach you how to do it and go through the process. But there's a 7-step process that we lead these people through. The first one is just that introductory call. The next one's, you know, their unit economics, which goes over the different numbers and projections of what you could possibly make. And then you just keep going through these tiers for 7 steps. It can take, you know, a few weeks to the newest one that we're getting ready to open up, hopefully soon, is, I mean, it's been a couple months, but to get him up and running. But, you know, he's getting ready to sign, which is great news. It took a little bit of time to get him through the process, because different things.
Is that a seasonal business? I mean, obviously pressure washing is extremely seasonal for most parts of the country.
It can be, but it's not. So to elaborate on that, we can work year round. There's no restrictions on it, but it slows down. There are slow times. I tell people, I'm like, we're not seasonal. We just slow down in the winter, because if I called you up and I'm like, hey, you ready to get your garage floor done? And you're like, no, there's a foot of snow in my back. Like, I'm not moving stuff out of my garage. That's what slows down. Yeah. So like, our builder relationships that we have, our basements that we do, those still stay strong. We just slow down quite a bit from the summer, where everybody's like, I'm in my garage, I need it done yesterday type thing. So
you're not doing too many pool decks in December, I assume.
You know, we don't do any pool decks. There's a different reasons. My main reason is I have 3 kids and I have a pool, and every time I yell at my kids, stop running around the pool, they just keep running. And if you put a coating down, anything you coat with our stuff will be slippery, and there's no happy medium. Like, you can put as much grit as you want, but then it's too rough on their feet. So you can't really find that happy medium, and it's just a nightmare, and people fall, and I don't want that liability on mine. So that's the main reason we don't do it.
Yeah. Well, that's good. There's nothing worse than snake oil salesman, right? If you don't believe in your own product in a certain situation, you probably shouldn't do it. And we use that line a lot, actually. So for some reason, it comes up in roof washing a lot. People will say, well, you think I should clean my roof? And I'll look at it and I'll say, honestly, no, I don't see very much mold. There aren't any black streaks. You can get away with waiting a couple years. And then they look at me like I'm crazy. And then I say, I'm not trying to earn a quick buck. We want to earn your business for life. You know, we're going to be here 10 years from now. So that usually goes a long way with people. And it's the same concept. You just don't try and trick people into a sale. You know, they're going to pick up on that.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Be authentic, be real.
And that's the biggest thing is I've talked myself out of many sales before, and I'm like, nope. And they're like, why not? And I'm like, this is the reason. And they're like, well, that other sales guy said this. And I'm like, listen, I'm not a sales guy. So you can take my word for it, or you can take his. I said, it doesn't matter, but just make sure you keep my number in case it fails.
Yeah. So I tell my guys, like my techs in the field, the guys actually doing the work, that we don't do sales, we provide solutions. So, we're the expert in our field. You're the expert in your field. So when you come to my house and you're looking at my garage floor and I'm trying to do something that isn't right, but it might make you extra money, you shouldn't allow it to happen, right? Or it could be the other way around. You could have a homeowner being cheap and saying, I don't think I need to do that. Well, you're the expert. You should step in. You should provide the solution and say, well, I got to tell you, if you don't do this, this, and this, and spend this much money, then you're really disservicing yourself here. And so we don't do sales. We provide solutions.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's cool. I'm about to use that. You didn't trademark it or anything, did you?
No, Tommy Mello did. I'm just kidding.
He owns everything. Come on.
No, he's killing it, man. He's an inspiration. He's just one of those guys, man. Doesn't sleep.
His whatever home freedom thing that he did, I don't even know what it is.
I see your tag behind you.
Is it Dak back there? Is that when I went?
Is that it?
Yeah, 2023. Yeah.
Yep, there you go. 2 years.
That changed my life.
Did it?
No joke.
Dude, he's got Trump Jr. coming this year.
I saw that. My business partner's not too happy about that one. I called him up because he's not a Trump fan at all. And I was like, hey Jeff, I said, you want to go to this? And he's like, why? And I'm like, Trump Jr. is going to be there, your best friend. He's like, oh, forget you, man. He's like, no way. So,
oh gosh.
Yeah. That's going to draw a lot of attention though. I mean, he's doing a lot of good things. Yeah. But when
Trump
I went
Jr. or Tommy Mello?
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. Tommy. So when I went to that event, he's good friends. He's in this, like that 6-pack of all these different guys or whatever. And one of them's a guy that I went to school with, Chad Peterman. And Chad's become a really good influence on me. He's local here in Indy. We went to high school together, but I've tapped him. He's like a good mentor to really dive into business with me. And he's just kind of open and he's like, this is what it is. This is how it is. You should do this, do that. And I'm just kind of following his model, what he says. But yeah, I went out to that Tommy Mello event and it really just changed my mindset. And I know we're going to talk later about that, but it really brought me down from doing a job to owning a company. And it would change my life forever.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah, I met him at a couple of events, but at the Howard Partridge convention, he showed up and he spoke on stage. And I mean, he's electric. Obviously, he's got so much passion. But I had a couple of my guys with me at that one, and it changed their opinion of my business. Because they're watching and they're saying, "Hey, boss, you do that stuff. That's what you're always talking about." But then they hear it from him, the $250 million man, and they all of a sudden they're like, "Okay, there's something to this stuff, and maybe there's a chance, there's a real future here." His book Elevate, he's talking about bringing pride back into the home service industry, into the technician and the trades, and I think it's incredible. I really think we're set up for success over the next 5 to 10 years, maybe even quicker, because if you're in the intellectual service industry in any capacity, AI is going to replace you. I mean, it's coming. If you're a home doctor, what do I need you for? I can ask ChatGPT 4 or 5 questions and it'll diagnose my sickness. Like attorneys, they're in trouble. Architects are in trouble. All these people, content writers, obviously they're already done, right?
Yeah.
But it's just social media content creators, the ones that actually create it for the creator,
Yeah.
They're in trouble unless they find a way to scale it and use AI on a daily basis. But you and robots are not going to be pressure washing or washing windows for quite some time.
Yeah.
That white glove service it's going to be a while for that to happen. So I think there's going to be a giant influx into the services industry from people that aren't used to having to put in that kind of labor. So it's going to be an interesting next 5 to 10 years in my eyes.
Absolutely. And it's funny you say that because there actually is a robot that puts down epoxy flooring.
I'm sure, but it's not efficient yet.
It's not, and it's not mass produced, and it's super expensive. And like, we're going to be long gone before that thing's even rocking and rolling.
Right.
So are you using AI in your business?
I use it all day, every day. I mean, I literally every day. I was going to say though, real quick, we have a version of the robot as well. Obviously you've probably seen drone pressure washing.
Oh yeah.
A thing that's kind of taking social media by storm, but it's just not there yet. And if you're watching this, you're using a drone, don't take offense to it.
They're awful.
Or do whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're spending a lot of money on a gimmick. We're just not there yet. Will we be? Probably. Sure. But I don't know if it's cost efficient, so it's like I can rent a lift that's 160 feet and knock out a building or windows. But anyway, same thing. We're just not quite there yet. But my wife just commented. She says I use it 8 hours a day. Yeah, I use it for spreadsheets and content, I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's replacing everything. It's crazy. And we call them chucking the trucks, like they're the ones not using it. They're the ones they're going to be left
Yeah.
behind.
So
Everybody
fast.
that's adapting, you got to use it. You got to adapt to it and just embrace it because it's coming. And if you're not using it, you're going to be last on board and you're going to have a hard time catching up for sure.
Yeah, there's no question. Within the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to be able to write your own app. You already can, but actually develop an app just by telling ChatGPT what you want. You'll be able to build your website by saying, "Hey, I need a website for my garage floor company, and I want it to do this and go after these metrics," and it will be able to do that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're competing against, it doesn't matter what industry. I spray water on houses, and I use AI all day, every day. So you better start catching up. If you're not using it, use it every day.
Yeah.
Find a way to use it.
Exactly. So funny story on that AI. So my business partner was talking the other day and he's trying to figure something out. And he's like, man, I can't figure this thing out. And it was Gemini. He's like, I can't figure out how to make it do this. And I go, well, and he goes, well, hold on. I'll just ask Gemini how to do that to ask him how to do it. And he did it. And it tells you how to work with Gemini to do that. It's so weird and outrageous. You can ask it literally anything, whatever you want. And it just evolves. It's just unreal.
So I'm going through this. It's a pay for performance spreadsheet, but it's a juggernaut. It's not your average spreadsheet. The formulas in each cell are 2 pages long. It's just, it's wild and it's complicated. And without ChatGPT, I don't know how there's people in this world that did it without it. Just I have to ask it a crazy question like, if this happens, I need this to happen, but zero it out. If this, it's like these really complicated things. And by the end of this 2-mile long conversation with ChatGPT and literally 100 hours into this formula, I started hitting a wall, right? I would finish the last cell and it would just error across and there'd be all these mistakes. And I'm sitting there just beating my head against the wall. And I literally, like you said, I just went back to ChatGPT. I said, based on everything we've discussed, how would you have done this differently? And should I start over? And it was basically like, yes, your structure is completely wrong. And this is how you should do it. And it spit it out. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
But you have to go through those learning curves, right? You have to learn how to use AI. If I'd have just said, hey, this is the goal, have a conversation with ChatGPT. It's wild. Hey, this is the goal. I'm trying to do this with this data and take it to this point. How would you do it? Where should I start? And then just go back and forth until you say, okay, that's what I want to do. Let's go. Let's start at step 1. And it'll literally do that for you. And you can do that for anything.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Stop using Google on a daily basis. Oh, I'll look that up. If you ever ask yourself, I'll look that up, do it on ChatGPT first just to learn. Just try that.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
So you told me we talked a little bit about, I guess, kind of a superpower. I feel like all entrepreneurs at some point, if they survive past the 3 to 5 year mark, develop some sort of knowledge of their superpower and what makes them different, what makes them good. You were saying that yours is kind of being grounded and realistic and well, I'll let you answer it.
Yeah, no. So the biggest thing, like you said, is being grounded, obviously, and to figure all that stuff out. But once I figured out, it all starts with me. And I learned it from Tommy Mello. I'm not going to lie. Once you figure it out, everything is you. Everything after that comes a lot easier. I'm not saying it's not hard. I'm not saying you're going to not have struggles, but it's a lot easier once you realize that. But you really got to convince yourself. And as entrepreneurs, I think we all fail at that one time or another, even throughout our processes. But it's to train your brain to say, hey, we need to get back to that point. It's you. Admit it. Once you admit it, you can get over it, figure things out, being the right boss. Why are these people, like Tommy was saying, why are people stealing my toilet paper? And then he realized, well, it was me, and that's how I was. I'm like, why are people leaving our company? Why do you not want to work? We're paying you well. Then it's like, man, did I really treat them well? Did I really do this right? Did I help them out in these areas? Did I train them correctly? And it all came back to me. Once I figured that out, it became a lot easier to focus in. And every day I struggle with it still every day, but I just tell myself, listen, get over that hump, figure you out, and then everyone else behind that will be better off because you're taking care of yourself. So I really focus in on, daily workouts, really just trying to always work out and things like that. I try and read books every day. I got into listening to podcasts podcasts versus listening to music, just filling your head with the right stuff versus junk, and really just trying to stay positive. A positive mindset goes a long way in our industry. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different influences and mentors, and I just reach out to every single one. And that's just kind of how I tried to focus in on my mindset is, getting the right people in my corner and hanging out with the people I wanted to be, like-minded like me.
I'm trying to find a book behind me. Yeah, that's
I probably
all
have
gold,
it. Which
man.
one are you looking at?
Yeah, it's Steve Anderson.
I don't have it.
I think it's called Intentionality, or anyway, he's one of the most incredible speakers I've ever heard on the subject. I mean, just extreme accountability, personal and those around you. You can't hold others to a high standard if you don't do the same to yourself, and you can't do it behind closed doors. They have to see it leading from the front, right? And so I believe in extreme accountability. That's one of the reasons I love performance pay models so much, because when the guys show up at a house, it's only a $300 house wash. They're going to look at that house wash and be like, dude, I can't make any money on this. And they're going to call the office. They're going to call me. So the accountability goes in all directions. It's not just from the top down anymore. So, the sales guy probably screwed up on the estimate. Doesn't care. He's still getting paid, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's a great book. Steve Anderson. Just look up Steve Anderson if you're listening, or if you want to check him out. Absolutely incredible. He's all over YouTube. He's just a little bit old school. He's like, I would assume he's in his mid 70s. Just one of those guys, like he had to fight in Vietnam or something. He's just like just a badass. And really cool story and really cool stuff. But yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah, I might have to look that up. I've never heard that one. So Steve Anderson, I wrote it down myself.
Yeah, check him out.
Yeah, I became I blame Tommy. I thank him, but I blame him because now I read books. You couldn't get a book in my hand, and I'm 40 years old. You couldn't get a book in my hand for 39 years. I'm telling you right now, like it was just unbelievable. Now I love reading books, and I think it's a good way to get your mindset correct and get everything in the right order and get yourself aligned and things like that. So start your day off a lot better too. That and a cold plunge. I don't know if you cold plunge or not.
You're doing that?
I did for a while. I had it. The only reason I stopped, the literally only reason I stopped is because I kept wasting so much ice, and I'm too cheap to go buy a chiller. And I'm like, I even bought an ice machine that made it all the time. And I'm like, I am tired of this. Like, but it's amazing. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's something about it. It just made you feel better.
Yeah, there's a funny TikTok out there. You'll have to dig through my account to find it. But I thought the same thing. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna get my morning routine right. I'm gonna be like these morning routine people, and I'm gonna start doing ice baths. So I went to Tractor Supply. Right, you don't dive in on the deep end with the cost because it could go up really quickly, especially back then. Anyway, I got one of those things and I put it in the shop, which is behind me, and I filled it with water. And it was like December, and I put like 100 pounds of ice in it for 3 days straight, thinking that's what you were supposed to do. And by the time I actually used it, it was cold. I mean, I don't measure it, but it was cold. And so I did a TikTok. I was like, I told my wife to film it, and I jumped in thinking I was gonna kill it, right? And I get in and I get out like half a second later. It wasn't good. It was embarrassing, and I never did it again.
Yeah, that's great.
I guess I'm not one of those guys.
Yeah. So a guy that works for me, he does Special Olympics. He does those cold plunge in like the rivers and all that stuff. Polar plunge. Polar plunge. And he talks me into it. He's like, oh, dude, you're good. You cold plunge all the time. That was the coldest day. They even said on record that they've ever done it, with the temperatures and all the water just rocking. And I got out and I was frozen. Like, I couldn't feel my feet for hours. It was miserable. I'm like, man, I am not doing this again. And he's like, come on, you got to do it. So I guess I'll continue, but that's totally different than sitting in an ice bath.
Maybe like a sauna. I could do like a sauna in the morning.
Yeah,
I could get behind that with my coffee routine, but
yeah, right.
We're kind of segueing into a routine. I do have a morning routine, and when I veer off of it, I don't know, man, my day just doesn't go as well. And it's like everybody around me can feel it too. So it's like, I don't know, man. I got to have my time at my desk. I read my Bible every morning. I do a quick Bible study. I listen to Christian music. I'm a believer. You just got to get your mind right. I pray. If I don't do that, man, I'm a wreck. It's the craziest thing. I write my letter to Donald Trump every morning, thanking him for his That's for your buddy.
Yeah, Jeff loves it. Yeah,
Jeff. That's for you, Jeff.
Yeah, I told him I'm gonna find him a sign, big old Trump sign, put it in his yard. When he's sleeping or something.
So my neighbor, I've got a neighbor here at my office. It's like a building, right? And she's older and she's kind of a crazy cat lady. There's zero chance she's gonna watch this, so it's okay. She's a great lady. She's nice. But the first time I met her, we moved into this shop space, and my shop doors are open. And she walks by and she looks in. I've got a giant American flag on the wall, and she looks at me and she says, "Did you serve in the military?" And I was like, "No. Why would you ask that?" She's like, "Well, the flag." And I was like, oh, "Okay, no, I'm an American." So
Wow.
yeah, it's a little. That's how I met her. It was a little strange, but
Yeah.
gotten stranger over the years. So
Uh-huh.
we've got all our really nice wrapped trucks out in front of the shop bay. We kind of line them up just right. And I'm pretty particular about, well, everything. And she feeds all these stray cats. And so every single one of our hoods has scratch marks
Oh,
across
man.
our beautiful wraps from the
Oh, man.
claws of these cats. And it's
Oh,
like,
that's rough. Oh,
she's lucky she's a nice lady.
exactly. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that's not fun, especially those wraps. They're expensive.
Oh, yeah.
That's for
What do they
sure.
cost out your way for like
It just depends on what vehicle we're putting them on. 4 or 5 grand. It can.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the van up top there, we have one of those as well, and it was about $5,200, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we did it for Christmas lights. I always do this. Tell me if you've ever done this. So I have this great design idea. I go back and forth with my guy. We finally land on something, and it's a Christmas light design, and then there's just something about it I don't like. So within 2 years, I'm ripping it off.
We did that in the very beginning before we rebranded to this.
I love the
Danny-
brand, by the way.
Yeah, Dan Antonelli with Kick Charge did this. Amazing guy, good friend. The dude's awesome. I will vouch for him any way, shape, or form. But he definitely transitioned all of us and took our trajectory upwards, because it used to just say GFC in little box letters, and then we have like the same stuff in the background. It's just all cluttered, and people are like, "What do you do?" And we're like, "We do garage floors." And they're like, "Where does it say anywhere on there epoxy?" Or like, there's nothing on there to indicate it. And we're looking, we're like, "Yeah, you're right." But Dan, he knocked it out of the park with this design. And we mainly did it to disrupt the market, because everybody in our industry is black and green. And if you look, anybody up does epoxy flooring, they're all black and green. And if you look up us, we're like the only orange ones out there. And that's the reason why we did it. You'd be like, "Oh, we're the orange guys." Just look up the orange guys, and then it just kind of sticks in your brain. So it really helps stand out. It's disruptive marketing is what we're trying to do. Yeah. I do goofy posts. We're just trying to stand out and be different. We just want to be different in our industry to really just set ourselves apart.
Yep, I love it. Yeah, that's always been my background. If I had to choose my superpower, I'd say one of them is that I just have an eye for design and brand and detail. I'm not necessarily good at creating the brand, but the idea, I can see it pretty quickly and play it out well.
Yeah.
I assume you trademarked the garage floor company, right?
Yep. So we have trademark, we have word mark, and you can't see it, but if you would zoom in on our top of our slogan,
TM, maybe not. Yeah, TM.
Yeah. So if you look above it, our slogan's above our logo. Can you see that part? What it says?
Oh, on your van?
Yeah. If you go on our website, I think you can see it on our website. So our slogan is probably the best garage floors in the world.
That is the slogan?
Yeah. So we own that. So we trademarked it. And we word marked that and everything. So we own that slogan. The reason we got it is my business partner was sitting at a bar one night. He saw a beer, and it's called Carlsberg beer. And he's like, "I'll take one of those." And he looked them up, and on their website, they say probably the best beers in the world. And so he got a really kick out of that. And he's like, "That's the greatest thing ever." Well, they didn't trademark that. So he's like, "Hey, let's do probably the best garage floors in the world." Yeah.
That's
and
great.
So we're like, we're doing it, because how many people go out there and they say, we're number one. And it's like, how are you number one? Did y'all sit around a table at a bar and you're like, "All right, guys, let's have another beer"?
All right. There's a good chance I do this, just so you know.
Yeah. Hey,
probably the best pressure washers in the world.
Yeah. I'm telling
That's
you,
a done deal. I'm sorry, but I have to take that. Is that all right? Is that okay with you? You plan on going into pressure washing?
I do not want to do any pressure washing. I am good.
Well, I might.
I am totally good with that. But I mean, but how many people out there say we're number one? And it's like, really? So we're just like, are we number one? I don't know, probably, but maybe not. Maybe we are, probably. So we just play and on the whole thing, it's the Carlsberg. They always says, will Carlsberg beer take you to the moon? Probably. I don't know, maybe not. And so that's what we play off of. Like, are we best garage? Probably, and that's what my latest posts have been doing. It's like, I don't remember what I posted lately, but it's like, the heck was it? I did an ET one. I don't know if it's came out yet or not.
Yeah, I saw that.
Can our garage floors help you phone home with ET or whatever? Probably. I don't know. So we're just trying to play fun on it. So
I'm looking at it, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 locations.
Yep. And hopefully Wisconsin soon.
You're still dating him.
So he's pretty much, he just has to sign. So hopefully he's soon. We really want to get him started. He's an amazing guy. Like,
yeah, man, dude, the website's sharp. Who did that?
So Barry Nix with Door and Gate Domination, and they still with us today. And we revamped it. It was different not too long ago, and I had a better vision for it. And so we did that. And then we have a franchise site on there as well. So you can go to franchising, but it all kind of like links up hand and foot. But yeah, everything's kind of coming together. It took a long time though. That's for sure.
Yeah. You said it a couple times, actually. You said 10 years. You're in this relationship for 10 years. I thought that was an interesting number. Tell me what you meant by that.
Yeah. So when you sign a franchise agreement with us, and with most of them, you sign a 10-year agreement to be a part of that company for 10 years. So you're basically signing your life away for 10 years to be their partners. This is how we like to look at it. So you're partnering up with us for 10 years.
Is that kind of a standard in the franchise world, 10 years?
It is. Yep. Yeah. And before we only had 5 years, and it's like, well, then people aren't really invested. They can't really get up and running. It takes a few years to get a business up and running. Even a franchise, like, it's not like you're going to be making money immediately because you're buying a franchise. You still got to work at it. It's still a business. That's why we changed it to that 10-year mark for us.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I didn't realize that. I didn't know it. So it has a definite end.
You have a renewal paid, and then you have a renewal, so you can renew after that. So we give you an update, towards the end of your contract, that 9th year, and then you can renew for an additional 5 years on top of that. I believe it's 5 years to go forward.
So go ahead.
I was just going to say, and then your whole goal really is either like a legacy, or like you're passing it on to your family and they're going to continue to do it, or you're going to sell it to a friend or family member so they can continue on with the company. So hopefully the company's always still there, but you may not be part of it. You may exit.
Yeah. It's, when you really think about it, 10 years is a long time. For a business. They say restaurants in particular need to rebrand every 10 years in order to not become stale. And I don't know if that's true in the home service industry, but it might be. It might be a fair number to rebrand and re-identify yourself. And I know everybody gets stuck on this. I think it's a giant mistake. Everybody gets stuck on, well, why would you do that? You've had the same brand for 25 years. People know who you are. Well, that's why you do it, because you've had it 25 years and people will still recognize you. The name hasn't changed. Keep the color scheme, change it a little bit. I'm sure Dan Antonelli has this conversation 10 times a day, right? Well, my local market really knows me well. And he's like, blah, blah, right?
Yeah,
sure they do.
He's saying, give me your money. Let's go. Let's figure this out. Later. Make you more money. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a smart dude. So yeah, there's no denying on that one. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to rebrand. I mean, we rebranded. It didn't hurt us. It helped us. You're still the same people. You're still the same name, just different look,
So let me ask you this. Would you recommend, because you're kind of out of the weeds at this point, I would assume, right? With the whole development of the FDD and the momentum and the shift into franchising, would you recommend to someone like me who's kind of, I'm a systems oriented person. I feel like I'm getting to the point where we're starting to scale well. We're in a good place. Would you recommend the franchise model, or be careful what you say, right? Because you're already there. But
so like for you, would I recommend you franchising or?
Yeah. Somebody like me, a business owner who's kind of plateauing their systems, like they've got it dialed in. Is that a logical next step?
Yep. So Tommy Mello is a huge advocate of he hates anything franchise. Like he believes own your market, which to an extent I kind of see what he's saying, but I believe in the franchise model for a lot of people. And I think anybody can franchise their system. There's really nobody out there that I've ever found I'm like, no, I don't think you can. I think anybody could. There may be a little bit of change within that, but I think the franchise system and the franchise world is totally different than anything else out there. And I love it. It is something that I'm deeply passionate about, really feel strongly about. And I would tell everybody you should franchise your model just because for so many different reasons, but it's just, it helps other people out. And like when I was a state trooper, I took an oath to help other people. And I feel like me franchising my business is really helping other people. Yeah, you're paying a fee, but is that fee something you wouldn't have already paid? You probably would have lost a lot more money trying it on your own. And now you get
So
us.
much more.
And it's like, and I just feel like I'm so passionate to help other people. And that's why we really wanted to do this franchise, because everyone else is doing it wrong. All they care about is money. And that's what everybody in our industry cares about is money and not making people successful. And I'm like, why can't we just all be successful? Like I own my local. I don't need the franchise to make money at all. We're doing great. I don't need it, but why not help other people so they can be successful too? So that's the reason we do it. And it's taken us a lot longer to do it just because of that reason. We're not going to, screw anybody over or take their money and tell them different lies. We'll tell them the truth and we'll get out of a deal before, we sell them anything else. So that's kind of, it's a little bit of a pitfall in the franchise model, but I think everybody's doing it wrong. And I think we're finally doing it right. It's just going to take us a little bit longer to get to that point. I mean, 100%, I'll put you in the right contacts. Make sure you go through the right people. Start with Charles, start with Frank Camp, figure out, is this something that I can franchise? And then from there, it definitely take off with it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not completely sold on it, to be honest with you. And we can have that conversation if you want to. I don't want to bash any business model, but I've been doing it for going on 24 years. I've seen what works, what doesn't work. And I'm definitely a systems person. I love systems and automations and scaling. If something goes wrong on a daily basis, my immediate question to myself is, all right, what process or system allowed that to happen? How do I fix this? A lot of people would jump in and be like, well, so-and-so is an idiot. Why did he do that? Or why did this person do this? No, it's usually much deeper than that. And like you said, extreme accountability. If somebody's making mistakes consistently, there's a good chance it's your fault as the owner. So it's once you make that mind shift, by the way, like you were saying earlier, I think everything changes for you. I've got this, you've heard of Zig Ziglar, right? He says you can have everything in life you want if you just help enough people get what they want. Yeah. That's what I was thinking about when you said that. That I do love about the franchise model. I feel like it puts you in a position to help other people, because I know I can help the struggling pressure washing guy. I mean, I could help thousands of people if I just had the opportunity, because I've been there. I've been through the pitfalls. I've failed multiple times. IRS debt, lawsuits, everything. Just nasty, nasty losses and failure and pain in my lifetime to get to this point. And so like you, I feel like I could offer a lot to people and help them avoid that and know where the pitfalls are and know where to focus their attention and their time and effort. Because like you said about the franchise model, there might be an upfront cost, but the cost of not doing it or not having a coach or not having someone show you the way is much, much, much higher and much more painful.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And a good friend of mine, he owned Robin Autopilot. They sold out to private equity, but it was like a lawn care business, those little robots that cut grass or whatever. And he franchised that. And when we were getting started, before we started, I'm like, hey, dude, can we franchise? And he goes, you can franchise. He goes, but one thing, he goes, if you're passionate about helping other people and making them successful, he says, and you're devoting your time to that franchisee, he says, that's the only way you'll be successful as a franchisor. He says, if you don't care about the other people, he says, you'll not be successful. So he says, just get in the mindset now, you're in it for them and you're not in it for you anymore. And so, that's kind of the shift you need to make in franchising.
Yep. So what do you do? Because I know this happens a lot. You run into people that are like, hey man, I want a franchise, but but they can't afford it, or their credit doesn't work out. I mean, that's gotta be a painful situation, because I know it happens a lot.
Yeah. So we turn down a lot of people for that. So there's obviously things that they have to have, certain minimums. We have one coming through the system right now, and he's right at the cusp, but he's right there, so he's fine. But yeah, I mean, it's hard because those people might be great, they just don't have the capital yet. And we can get you funding. We have funding, so we can get you all that stuff. As long as you can meet the minimum requirements to get to us, you're fine. I mean, mean, we're one of the lowest cost to entry for home service industry.
Can you say it?
Yeah. So this includes the franchise fee of $55,000 for a territory. It is $133,000 all in. It gets you everything.
That gets you the equipment and the truck and the wrap.
Everything.
130 grand, and 55 of that is the franchise fee.
Yep.
That's really cheap.
Yeah.
And is that because the van is and the equipment are financed?
So you can finance it, the truck and stuff like that. But what we do is we tell people you can actually start off in a trailer. It's the cheapest option. You don't have to have a van. You don't have to have a box truck. You're going to build into those. And on top of that, it's home based. So you can start at your home. You're not paying shop rent, or you can get a little storage unit for $200 a month, whatever it is. And you're going to scale this. And we teach you that way to slow scale, to grow it up, to start putting money in your pocket. And on top of that, we're the only ones that I'm aware of that I've talked to a lot of different consultants, and I tell them like, hey, our first year, we don't take any royalties. So every dime you pay for a franchise, you usually pay royalties. For us, you don't pay that first entire year. You're taking all that profit, put it in your pocket, say, hey, I'm growing my company, and then off you go. So we want to make you successful. So there's a lot to it. Everybody else is doing totally different, and whatever they're doing, we're doing the opposite. And that's just how we do it. And that's what we're trying to explain to people. Yeah, you're not getting a big, fancy, huge corporation. You're getting Jeff and I as your trainers and your forerunners and stuff like that. So we're the founders, but we're also your trainers. We're also your franchisors. We're your partners. We're everything. They get us, people call us all the time. Andy is the guy in Nashville, calls us all the time with questions. And it's like, she calls the cell phone, he doesn't have to call an office, and operator says, well, hold on. A tech will be with you to answer that question. So it's a neat opportunity that we have being an emerging brand as a franchise too, as well.
I did a podcast with a franchise developer and a good friend of mine who just franchised recently. They co-branded or co-founded Bright Brothers. I don't know if you know Pat Clark. He's a good buddy of mine. Anyways, he was in the pressure washing business, and they expanded into Christmas lights like so many of us have. And then he was picked up by private equity, essentially. Well, maybe it's not private equity. Maybe I shouldn't use that word. But it's one of those huge multi-brand, multi-tiered, multi-leveled companies called Contractor Nation. And they're just huge, 150 plus in-house marketing agents, so, it's hard to imagine competing with something like that, but you make a valid point that, maybe you don't have to, maybe you just change the way you do it and you're more intentional with your time and your investment in your franchisees. So I like that you said that.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, maybe I'll do it. I don't know. We'll see.
When you're ready, dude,
go, man.
It's just right around the corner. I'm telling you, go to one Fran camp, and I hope Nick's listening to this so I can get some payback on this. So he'll give me some commission or something. But yeah, Fran camp is so fun. It's just a 3-day. It's not even 3 days, but you'll learn. You learn so much from so many different people out there. I mean, there's a guy that's hundreds of units, in franchising. He's been doing it for so many years. And then there's people that don't even know what the heck they're doing down to the bottom. So it's definitely, yep. So I'll be in New York here in 2 weeks. If you come to Chicago, Jeff and I are supposed to be sponsoring it. And I hope Nick's listening, because there's not a Cubs game. We're supposed to go to a Cubs game, but yeah, it's we're actually hosting and sponsoring a Cubs game if you go to it. So it'll be a fun night.
So is this a franchise thing? These people are all franchised. There you are.
Yeah.
These are all franchisors.
People that go, there's franchisors, there's different, I can't remember what he calls them, but other people that own different companies that try and sell you stuff too. They don't really sell you things, but there's franchisors, there's developers there. There's all kinds of people. And Charles is there. He's our lawyer. All his Nicola firms there. They're just phenomenal. It's just a good group of people to be in, to learn from. The amount of money that we pay to go to these things, like, it's stupid. The knowledge that you get, it's crazy. Like, you get so much out of it. And I hope they don't raise the price, because I said that. Maybe they should lower the price. I don't get any knowledge if you're listening.
There you go. Oh yeah, it's not bad. $750. Fran camp. I'll check it out. Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Dude, this has been awesome. You have any parting knowledge to leave to anybody who's listening?
Oh man, if I tell you, so if I can give any help, obviously reach out to me, whatever I can do. I'm not going to be a blind person, and I'm not going to shoot the bull with you. Like, I'm not going to take you down a dark path. I'll tell you honestly certain things, but if I can help anybody, that's my main goal this year, is for outreach with people. So if there's anything that I can do for any of your listeners, I'd be more than happy to do that. Just reach out to me on LinkedIn or Facebook or anything like that. I know Brandon, he actually reached out to me. He posted something on here. I'll be getting in contact with him, but just keep a positive mindset, figure you out and blame everything on you. And even if it's not your fault, and then from there, everything gets better. I promise. It really does. It may still be a struggle every day, but stay strong and keep a positive mindset. And you'll be all right for sure. There's so many people out there that are willing to help, like you and different other people in your group that you guys are out there doing and doing these podcasts. It's amazing. So I appreciate it and having me on this. So it was definitely worth my money sending you that $1,000.
1,000? No. You're missing a zero.
Oh, my bad. 100. Oh,
it's okay. It's all right. Send me another one.
All right. Yeah. Leslie will send it to you.
Yeah. Leslie, if you're listening, Leslie always just wants my money. She doesn't ever send me money.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. You know what? There's really freedom in accountability, because honestly, if it's not your fault, then can you even fix it?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like at least if the world is falling apart around you and everything you built is falling apart, at least you can fix it if you say it's your fault.
Yeah.
Right. So look at it that way, and maybe you'll have a better outlook on life.
Absolutely. For sure.
Dude, this was fun, Dan. I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you, Trevor.
All right, man. See ya.